All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining this Friday, and we're going to sit and take a look at FieldCraft, which is cybersecurity awareness training, and it's specifically geared for SEC and FINRA registered firms, though it's also ISO and GDPR compliant. So it's definitely a change of topic from the type of webinar that we do. I think this is more of a solution than it is a how-to. And I think it's also, we always say when you're thinking about regulatory cybersecurity, there's kind of two fields of that, and one is the technical stuff, and that's where you're going through and actually scanning ports and services and looking for vulnerable devices. And then there's the policies and procedures and the compliance part of it, and that's going through and documenting your policies and procedures in a good manner. And this is to address a part that we see come up in just about every exam where they ask for proof that you're doing cybersecurity training. And so, FieldCraft's our solution to that. And so I want to show you, it's super easy. We can dive into that. So I see a lot of familiar faces in the audience here. Of course, always appreciate you guys coming back. But for those that don't know me, my name is Brian Hahn. I'm the founder at MTradeCraft. We're a private intelligence and cybersecurity group. We 90% focus on financial institutions, and 90% of that 90% is going to be SEC registered RIAs. I have some state registered firms, some planners, hedge funds, family offices, and that. And then also we work with law enforcement and private military, developing different technologies and intelligence. So my background is in SIGINT and OSINT, kind of as a private contractor. I worked for a while in Costa Rica, and then I've held the COO and CCO role for several different RIAs and in a couple different hedge funds, and then also did a stint in CS Analytics at Bridgewater. So everything that I do now is kind of a combination of being in that CCO role and being tasked with cybersecurity and figuring out, efficient ways to work through that, and of course, effective ways to work through that. For the most part, again, we generally, most of our webinars focus on, how do we break into firms, how do we find vulnerable employees, and how do we get into the firms. And I think, I wish I had the stats to track, but, of the hundreds of penetration tests that we've done, I'm going to say 90% of them, 95% of them evolved around some form of human error, whether they clicked on a link and let us into the network, or they opened a malicious PDF, or they, involuntarily leaked credentials, or the big one that we're seeing right now, it's just insecure remote desktop being open, so a lot of work from home going on, and that sort of thing. So, a lot of it is just looking at those type of things and training employees on the importance of, not just randomly opening applications using USB drives, public Wi-Fi, and that sort of thing. So, the question's always, why perform cybersecurity awareness training? And whenever I see others talk about this topic, everyone dives into a ton of regulation and looking at the different codes and that sort of stuff, which is really boring to me. If you want to go that route, I recommend going to our website. We actually keep a list of the cybersecurity requests that our clients have received, cybersecurity and IT related requests that both our clients have received, and others that we've just found. So that's a great way to go through and see what they're actually requesting. But I can tell you in just about everything that we see, they want to see some form of cybersecurity awareness training. So I say that, there's three reasons you have to do it. The regulators expect you to do it. I promise you, your clients expect you to do it. And your employees need it. Your employees, especially from the work from home, in my mind, when we look at cybersecurity as a whole for the firms, we have two big gaping holes right now, and right now that's work from home, and one that we've had for a long time, which is bring your own device policy, where firms allow employees to bring their own devices. And one minute you're going to have an employee accessing Schwab client services or custodian on their phone, and then the next minute they're checking Facebook and a public Starbucks Wi-Fi. So these are things that we need to train employees not to do, and because that's where a lot of these holes do come up. And two, I can tell you when we were doing our audits, pretty much every time, we would come in and we'd say, okay, we're going to do your vulnerability scans, we're going to produce your reports, and we're going to teach you how to fix all these problems. And then everyone was like, okay, well, now we need to train in employees. And that was something we were certainly happy to do. In the past, it involved generally me or someone else jumping on a Zoom or a webinar, spending a couple hours training employees, and it was brutal. I didn't enjoy it. I guarantee you the clients didn't enjoy it. So, we had to come up with a better solution. And when we thought about it, it was actually pretty clear, what we need to do. One was just take some quality training videos. If we, look what was out there, they're all cartoon-based and just almost obnoxious to a point. So we wanted to get a good set of quality training videos. So to that, we have over 150 videos that cover every topic, each one no more than 2 minutes. You put that into a very simple learning management system that CCOs can use. Add some push-button compliance reporting so they can print out those compliance reports to prove that it happened, and then make it happen in less than 15 minutes for the CCO. So that was the goal. We wanted someone to grab the solution and be fully done with it within 15 minutes. So the hardest part about administering training to your employees is really just kind of the pre-thought and thinking about how you want to work through it. I tell my clients the first thing they need to do is just classify their employees. And the reason you do this is because, so example one, super easy, right? Like you have 3 people in your firm. Everyone has very similar tasks. You can put them into this program, apply the same training to them all, and produce reports. And that's super easy. It takes you less than 5 minutes to set up. I know some firms want to segment their training, and that takes a little more time, but it's definitely the right thing to do. In example 2, if you attended our 2-factor authentication webinar, where we showed the proper method of deploying 2-factor authentication, we classified employees into 4 groups. So you could certainly use those 4 groups. In example 2, that were also from the 2-factor deployment, you could use those to deploy training. And then example 3, one of the things we see right now is sometimes we have a firm owner who's back in the office, but he may have 3 or 4 employees that are now working from home. So, maybe someone needs some work from home training. Maybe they're in a WeWork or a shared workspace type facility, or they're using a VPN or whatever, that tranche of employee may be. It's simply just stopping and kind of classifying that out and thinking about how you want to divide up the employees and give training. So with that, let's dive in and show you what the system looks like and how simple it is. So when you sign up, this is your login screen. You'll receive a login in your email to bring you to this. This is your dashboard. As you deploy training and as your employees undertake training, this will fill with stats. It has a tab for training, and this is where you will develop your different training programs. It has a tab for employees, and this is where you would have your different list of employees, the different list being the classification. Again, you can just toss all employees, give them all the same training, and it'll work just as simple. If you click on subjects, you can, as the administrator, you can actually kind of quickly go through and see all the different topics that we cover. Over here on the left, they are indexed. There's a little over 150 videos. But they really cover just about every topic that you can think of: spear phishing, spyware, that sort of stuff. Each video, so the program requires the employee to watch the video, which is less than 2 minutes, and then following that, they have a simple quiz to show that they were paying attention and watching the video, and of course we record the answers to that quiz into the final reporting. There's a reports tab, so very simple. You click on that PDF and it's going to produce a report for your firm. That's going to be the firm-wide to say, hey, this is the 2021 annual cybersecurity review. this is the training that we went through and produce that documentation. And then later on, you can actually produce employee-specific reports to show what training each employee attended, what their scores were on the relevant tests and so forth. And I'll show you that in a little bit. So when you get on the dashboard, you can either start in one or two places. You can start by developing your training program and then assigning it to employees, or you can create your employees and then assign them training program. It works either way pretty seamlessly. I'm going to start with the employees. So when I click on the employees, it'll bring me to a simple tab here. I can create a list and import employees to that. So we will name this test list. And from that, we're going to go to import employees. And so you can actually do this in one of two ways. You can go through and enter them one by one if you want, or you can browse and insert them with a CSV file. This is actually really simple to do. I'll show you an example here. This is my CSV file. In one column, I have the email addresses, and column B, I have their names. And so you can simply just go in and import that into here. And that will bring your employees in. And now you have your list of employees there. So now that you have your employees, and of course, if you had to make different lists, you would just go through that and do that for each list. Then you want to come and assign some training to them. So when you click on Create Training, it's going to bring up a little window here. And from here, we have several pre-selected training programs that you can choose from. We have some for new employees, some that cover specifically passwords, common pitfalls, and then underneath it, we have a recommended delivery schedule. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. It is recommended. You don't have to follow it by any means, but it's a suggestion for a way to slowly deploy to your employees and have them work through it. So let's assume you wanted to make a custom list here. What we do is just click on, we're going to make a custom list. And also you can choose a pre-designed list and then add any other subjects that you wanted to. And so if you wanted to start with one that was geared towards work from home employees, and then you needed to add some training about VPNs, you could certainly do that. This is starting from scratch. As you can see, we have 0 subjects selected and 0 minutes of total duration. You just simply add subjects. At the top, there's going to be different themes that you can choose from if you know what might be specific to your firm. And then it's just as simple as clicking and adding whatever you like. Of course, you're free to do as many as you want, and we recommend doing all of them that are relevant to your firm. So we'll start with these 3. And see, now it's going to take us back to that list, and we're going to assign this training to those lists. And then we schedule delivery. And so scheduling delivery, we can decide to, let me just click on this and see. We can decide a number of subjects that we want to deliver per week and what day we want to deliver them. We can also choose to send everything now, and basically the employee is just going to get an email, says, "Dear Mr. John Smith, you've been assigned some training." They'll click on that and be taken to the training so that they can work through that at their own pace. And alternatively, you can just download the sign-in links. So each employee gets their own sign-in link to a portal. You can download that, so if you want to distribute them in your own email system or CRM or whatever, super easy to do now. I'm just going to choose send everything now, so everyone would get notified at once. Then we want to set reminders. So we can choose to set reminders if employees fall behind on the schedule. For instance, if you design training to last for 1 month and an employee isn't keeping up to pace, this will automatically send them a reminder to log in. If they miss it, you can select the number of days of the delay that they get behind schedule, but that will automate the reminder to your employees to go in and get that done. And then finally, you just name the training. And you can choose to include an introductory email if you want to send an email to your employees and let them know, hey guys, this is the training we talked about. You'll be receiving a link soon, and then create. And it's just that simple. Once you've done that, now the list of employees that you receive will receive the list of their training. you can sit back and wait and watch them kind of work through that through their time frame. When you come back into the dashboard, if you click on training, you can click on that training program that we just created, and it will show you how everyone's coming along, how many employees have logged in, what their test scores are, who might be falling behind, who needs help, everything of that nature. And you can see you can go down, it'll show you all that. So it'll show you the lessons that are in this training, what list you've assigned the training to, and what employees received that list. So I can show you real quick here too if you want to see, I can show you what their training looks like. You can see it from the employee view here. Let me put this in here. And once they get assigned training, it will pop up right in here. And then they'll be able to access that training through there and click on it. Also up at the top, so we mentioned the reports up here at the top, which print the firm-wide reports. If you click on the 3 dots right up here, you can select a number of different things. You can print employee reports in PDF or print them in CSV if you want to have them in an Excel file. You can copy the training, delete the training if you need to replicate it for other employees, and then let them work through it. So I generally tell my clients this is generally used for onboarding. So anytime I have a new employee come on, I'll have an onboarding training program for them to go through, and then also the annual cyber audit or annual compliance audit that you do. Also on the dashboard, so now you can see that we've created in training and employees. It's going to show you some statistics there, and as people work through it, you'll be able to see how they're coming along. Also, once a month we'll release a new course on the latest. This one was ransomware. Before that, we had a brief video on security culture and a couple other items that you can find here on the right. So the great thing about this, if you think this is something that might be interesting for your firm, we offer a no sales pitch, no credit card demo of it. So just send me an email or you can sign up on the website. We'll set you up with a demo account so you can log in and play with it and see if it works for you guys. If it does, great. We can certainly get you set up with that. And if not, then no credit card, no charge, nothing like that. So for us, it's been a really awesome system. We have about 90, I think we actually had 95 after this morning clients on it already, and having great feedback. So we're pretty excited to roll it back. So we're going to have two different pricing levels and two different structures for it. One is going to be a firm level pricing, and that one's going to be $900 a year, and it's going to cover full testing for up to 20 employees and admin access and the ability to report. And then, of course, we know individuals are going to need just one-off reports, or maybe one report at a time, and for that it's just $99 per employee per training to have them come in and get the training done. So we try to give it both options for the smaller firms that just need to come in and get a few guys trained, and then also for that CCO that's trying to manage this coursework for an entire firm. We want to make it easy for you guys to use this program either way. So of course, if there's any questions about it, feel free to use the Q&A over on the left or send me an email. Super easy to get a demo up and going so you guys can jump in and work through and actually look at some of the courses and testing and that sort of thing, and see if it works for you guys. But like I said, and the other thing I should add too, so if you're CCO and admin here, you'll log in, you'll see the MTradeCraft logo. If you like, when you deploy it in your firm, if you send us a logo, we can white label it for you guys. So it's a pretty seamless integration with your employees, and they see your logo and that sort of thing on the training. So another little feature there. But we love to get you set up with a demo account and let you play with it. We think this is going to be probably just the simplest solution to get this kind of training done. There really is, it shouldn't take you more than 10 to 15 minutes to get the program fully set up and deployed, and then of course have that ongoing training for your employees to attend to and get after. So anyway, we're super excited about this. If you reach out, guys, just let me know you'd like a demo and I'll get you set up. Takes us just a couple hours to get you set up and plugged into the program. And of course, any questions, let me know. And other than that, I hope you enjoy your Friday, and I really do appreciate you joining us and taking a look at this. Again, I see a lot of familiar faces here, and I know this is kind of a different twist from our traditional, this is how we hack and whack a firm. We're hoping this is a little bit simpler program to help them fulfill that compliance side of things and that paperwork side of things. So anyway, guys, thanks a lot. I really appreciate your time, and hope you have a great weekend.